But the thing is, there's some pretty damning evidence here. This is from the lawsuit. It says, on December 30th, 2008, Epstein and Staley discussed via emails Staley's visit to Epstein's residence in Palm Beach. Epstein wrote that he would not be home the following Sunday, but that Staley was welcome to use the house. Staley replied that he would instead make arrangements to visit Epstein in Palm Beach in early January. On January 8th, 2009, around the time of Staley's scheduled visit to Palm Beach, Epstein wired $2,000 from his JP Morgan account to a woman with an Eastern European surname. Those words, Eastern European surname, appear quite a few times in the suit.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of redacted photos that Epstein apparently emailed Staley. This is, by the way, this is not Staley's personal account. This was his like JP Morgan account.
Yeah.
And I think it should be presumed, and the U.S. Virgin Islands says this point blank in their suit, that JP Morgan absolutely was monitoring these accounts. I mean, it's a fucking huge bank. They're reading all of they're monitoring all of their employees' emails.
They got a guy doing that.
Yeah. Epstein and Staley, over the course of Staley's tenure at JP Morgan, I mean, they exchanged like over 1,000 emails.
To be clear, for those of you who are not familiar with Monsieur Jeffrey Epstein, he was Jeffrey Epstein in 2008 was a convicted sex trafficker.
Yeah.
Like known to the world as one. And so almost all of these missives and back and forth between them concerning these women happen post conviction.
Yeah, this is from Jane Doe 1's complaint against JP Morgan again, which is the memo that the U.S. Virgin Islands filed that's in support of this case. Mm-hmm. They write, to put it plainly, Epstein needed a bank that knew he was engaging in illegal activity and did not care, which Epstein had in JP Morgan. So this Jane Doe 1 has actually filed 2 separate suits. She filed one against JP Morgan Chase and then one against Deutsche, which was, of course, Jeffrey's bank after he left JP Morgan. Both banks are trying to get them dismissed. The New York State Department of Financial Service actually got Deutsche to pay $150 million penalty for failure to scrutinize any of Epstein's activity, like banking activity. That included him taking out $200K in cash per year from his Deutsche accounts.
Big cash guy.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be, as you know, we're going to talk about like the failure of Chase to really monitor any of this stuff. I mean, that would be like the biggest red flag for any internal regulator, right? When they're looking at what is going on with accounts.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is like I still use cash and people make fun of me for it.
Not $200,000 in cash a year.
That's a lot of cash. I'm like, what do you even spend that much cash on? Oh, well, I guess you're Jeffrey Epstein.
He's trafficking women.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense.
But so, like I said, he left JP Morgan for Deutsche in 2013. And I was looking at that and I was like, I genuinely don't know why Epstein had to leave JP Morgan. And then you're looking at it in these complaints and it's, just Staley left JP Morgan in 2013. Mm-hmm. And it's in that year that JP Morgan terminated its relationship with Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. And again, I do not want to repeat myself too much here, but JP Morgan was fully aware of the accusations against Jeffrey Epstein, and everyone from Jess Staley to Jamie Dimon knew about this. I mean, Epstein was a big client of JP Morgan. He was not treated in the way that I think it was legally supposed to be treated, or even internally within JP Morgan's own rules supposed to be treated as a high-risk client.
Yes. You mentioned Jamie Dimon, and I want to talk about that. It does seem clear from these filings that Jamie Dimon absolutely knew and was aware of Epstein's high risk activity. Yeah. There's an internal email after the 2008 arrest. You see, in the internal emails, that high-level executives were debating whether or not to drop Epstein in at least 2008, if not before then. And in one email, they were shot down by even higher-level execs. There's there's one that says that basically, I assumed that all of this money would be outflows, meaning that, Jeffrey had around 150 million in various accounts at JP Morgan. They assumed it would be an outflow because they assumed that the bank would be dropping him as a client. And they said pending Dimon review, which is referring to Jamie Dimon reviewing whether or not they were dropping him as a client. But they didn't in 2008, which can only lead a rational person such as Bryce Belden sitting across from me here,
people in America,
to think, that means that Jamie Dimon said, no, let's keep him as the client.
Yeah.
This is a fucking chair of the largest bank in the world, just to make clear.